comes a moment when even the strongest person runs out of strength. No energy, no confidence, no backup plan, no guarantee that tomorrow will be better, just pain. And one final question: do I still have a reason to stand? Luffy has reached that place before, not once, again and again. He has been beaten, outnumbered, separated from the people he loved, forced to watch things fall apart while knowing he wasn't strong enough to stop them. And yet, he keeps standing. But why? What makes someone continue when everything inside them is screaming, enough? Maybe the answer isn't strength. Maybe it's something much more dangerous, a reason. Because when you have a reason strong enough, you can fight long after your body tells you to stop. And that's what makes Luffy terrifying. Not that he never falls, but that every time the world convinces him he's finished, he finds one more reason to rise. Think about what happens when you lose everything you thought made you strong. Your confidence disappears. The people you depended on aren't there. The plan fails. The dream suddenly feels impossible. And the person you thought you were doesn't exist anymore. That's where most people start negotiating with themselves. Maybe I should quit. Maybe this isn't meant for me. Maybe I tried hard enough. And sometimes those thoughts are reasonable, because exhaustion can make surrender feel like peace. Giving up can feel easier than fighting another battle. But Luffy's story asks a brutal question. What if you're not actually finished? What if you're simply tired? What if the moment you want to quit isn't the end of your strength? What if it's the moment your reason for fighting has to become stronger than your pain? Luffy isn't powerful because he never feels helpless. He's powerful because helplessness doesn't get the final decision. He has experienced moments where his fists weren't enough, where speed wasn't enough, where courage wasn't enough, where wanting something desperately didn't make him capable of protecting it. That's a cruel lesson, because we grow up believing that if we care enough, we'll find a way. But sometimes you care deeply and still fail. Sometimes you give everything and still lose. Sometimes the person you wanted to save cannot be saved. And there is no motivational sentence that makes that painless. Luffy learned this the hardest way. Ace, his brother, the person he desperately wanted to protect. Luffy fought toward him with everything he had, and still he lost him. For a moment, there was nothing left. Not just physically, psychologically. The dream didn't matter, the future didn't matter. The title, the adventure, the freedom, none of it mattered, because grief can make the entire world feel meaningless. And that is where Luffy's real battle began. Not against an enemy, against the belief that losing someone meant losing himself too. That's something pain does. It tries to convince you that one loss represents everything. You lose one person, and suddenly you think you'll always be alone. You fail once, and suddenly you believe you're incapable. You lose one opportunity, and suddenly you think your future is gone. One chapter ends, and your mind declares the entire story finished. But Luffy eventually learns something devastatingly important. Losing something doesn't mean losing everything. There can still be something left. A person, a dream, a promise, a responsibility, a future. Even if it's tiny, something remains. And sometimes that tiny thing is enough. After Marineford, Luffy was broken, but his story didn't end there. His crew was still somewhere in the world. His dream was still alive. His promise was still alive. And that meant he still had something to fight for. So he made a decision, not an emotional promise, that everything would suddenly become easy, a commitment. He would become stronger. Not because he wanted applause, not because he wanted revenge, because he never wanted to experience that helplessness again. That's a completely different kind of motivation. Fear can push you, anger can push you, pride can push you, but purpose can carry you. And when your purpose becomes stronger than your desire for comfort, you become difficult to stop. Maybe that's the part of Luffy's story you've been missing. People look at his determination and think he's just naturally fearless. No, he has fear, he has pain, he has moments of weakness. The difference is he doesn't treat those feelings as instructions. Fear says, don't go. Pain says, stop. Failure says, you're not capable. Luffy listens, but he doesn't obey. That's the difference between feeling something and surrendering to it. You can be afraid and still move. You can be exhausted and still take one step. You can doubt yourself and still continue. Strength isn't controlling your emotions. It's refusing to let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. And maybe you're standing at your own version of that battlefield. Maybe nobody is literally attacking you. Maybe your enemy is your own exhaustion, your unfinished goals, your failed attempts, the message you never received, the person who left, the dream that isn't working, the feeling that everyone else is moving forward while you're still trying to get your life together. And you're tired, not physically, deeply. The kind of tired where even imagining another attempt feels painful. Maybe you've been fighting for so long that you don't even remember why you started. That's dangerous, because when the reason disappears, the struggle becomes unbearable. So before you ask yourself, how do I become stronger? Ask something deeper. What is still worth fighting for? Because you don't need endless strength. You need direction. A person can walk through almost anything if they know why they're walking, but give them no purpose, and even a comfortable life can feel unbearable. That's why Luffy's dream matters. Becoming Pirate King isn't simply a goal. It's an identity, freedom, adventure, the ability to live according to his own will. And every time the world tries to take that away, he becomes more determined to protect it. Your own purpose may look completely different. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your future. Maybe it's proving to yourself that you can change. Maybe it's building something nobody around you understands. Maybe it's simply becoming the person you promised yourself you'd become. Whatever it is, protect it, because when everything else disappears, your reason is what remains. But there is a darker truth. Sometimes even purpose isn't enough. Sometimes you fight, you train, you sacrifice, you believe, and then you lose again. That's when motivation dies, because now the problem isn't, I don't know what to do. The problem is, I did everything I knew how to do, and it still wasn't enough. That moment breaks people, not because they're weak, because reality finally refuses to reward them. And Luffy has faced that reality repeatedly. He doesn't win every battle because he wants it more. He doesn't overcome every obstacle through sheer emotion. He gets stronger, he adapts, he learns, he relies on others, he changes. That's the part people miss. Persistence isn't repeating the same action forever. Sometimes persistence means becoming a different person, so the same obstacle can no longer defeat you. That's why his training after Marineford matters. He didn't simply say, "I'll try harder." He recognized something much more uncomfortable. The old version of himself wasn't enough, and instead of protecting his ego, he accepted it. That takes humility, because admitting you're not strong enough can feel humiliating, especially when you've built your identity around being the one who protects everyone. But admitting weakness isn't surrender. Sometimes it's the first honest step towards strength. You cannot fix a weakness you refuse to acknowledge. You cannot outgrow a limitation you pretend doesn't exist. You have to look at yourself without excuses and say, "This is where I am." Then, "This is not where I'm staying." Maybe that's what you need right now. Not another motivational speech, not another promise that everything will work out. Just honesty. Where are you actually standing? Are you out of energy? Admit it. Are you behind? Admit it. Did you fail? Admit it. Are you scared? Admit it. Do you feel lost? Admit it. Because pretending you're stronger than you are doesn't make you stronger. Knowing exactly where you are does. Luffy doesn't become stronger by denying reality. He becomes stronger by facing it. And eventually, you reach a strange place. You've been knocked down so many times that falling doesn't scare you the same way anymore. You failed enough. That failure loses some of its power. You've been rejected enough that you stop begging for approval. You've been alone enough that you learn how to hear your own thoughts. You've suffered enough that comfort is no longer the only thing you value. And suddenly the thing that once terrified you is no longer controlling you. That's transformation, not becoming invincible, becoming harder to control. Fear can't control you. Failure can't control you. Other people's opinions can't control you. Comfort can't control you, because you've learned, I can survive this. And once you truly believe that, your relationship with struggle changes. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what can this make me? That's the turning point. Pain can destroy you, or it can reveal what matters. Failure can humiliate you, or teach you exactly where you need to grow. Loneliness can consume you, or teach you that your identity cannot depend entirely on other people. Loss can empty you, or force you to discover what remains. The pain doesn't choose the meaning, you do. And Luffy's greatest battles are never really about proving that he's stronger than everyone else. They're about protecting something he refuses to abandon. That's why his final push always feels different. He's not fighting because he enjoys suffering. He's fighting because stopping would mean betraying something inside himself. His dream, his people, his promise, his freedom. And when everything else is stripped away, that's what remains. One final reason, one final breath, one final step, one final fight. Maybe that's where you are now. Maybe you're not looking for a perfect life. Maybe you just need one more reason not to quit. One reason strong enough to make tomorrow worth seeing. Find it. Protect it. Build around it. Because you don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to know exactly how you'll win. You don't even need to feel confident. You just need enough courage to refuse to let this moment decide your entire future. Because sometimes the person who wins isn't the one who had the most strength. It's the one who had the least left and still chose to stand. And Luffy hasn't reached that final moment yet, because the hardest battle isn't the one where everything is against you. It's the one where you have almost nothing left, and you have to decide whether that's truly the end or just the moment before you rise again.